So let's take a look at Destiny Pro. He's got a lot of questions. He's trying to figure out how he can beat campaign bosses better, and of course the Void campaign. Two of the most important things in the game right now. Yes, I know we have all these things unlocked. So I see a lot of check marks. We're almost through chapter 3. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. What wave are we stuck on? I was like, it's probably a Holmes Young wave, right? We all know the reason why Holmes Young waves are difficult, and that's because his CC and his poison potions are just ridiculous. Now, the bosses are barely getting cleared. Okay, so that's something we really need to focus on. If we can start beating the chapter 1 and chapter 2 bosses, that's going to help power up our account. And our account looks like this. Again, very good build order. The only thing that would probably help against something like the Holmes Young wave you are stuck on is going to be a Therapist of Blood Betty. However, Cores of Origin is a big deal. The Real Corbin gifting 10 subs on Twitch. Y'all going crazy tonight. I appreciate all the support. You guys are amazing. If you got one of those subs, make sure you say thank you. And hey, if you guys come by the live stream, you might get one of those gifted subs, and then you might be entitled to a free account review in the future. So the Real Corbin wanted to make sure he was at the top of the gifted sub list on Twitch. He didn't like the Powell overtook him, I think. So, here's the thing. Oh, actually, you know what? You're on the right path. You almost have this to a noble core. Okay, so this is actually better than I thought. I was thinking this was going to be a Betty without a core at all. But yeah, the fact that it's already at 2 is a really big positive. So, of course, you have Destiny Transition 1 right here. Do you have any other cores of Origin? No, but that's actually kind of a proper play. This is actually refreshing. Again, I feel like just about every single player has a 1-star or higher Sword Flash Shia core, because when these first came out, most people still were kind of using a Sword Flash as one of their main heroes, so they just snagged it out of the first chest possible. I feel like almost everybody has done that, or they've used like the single shard chests that are only good for the first few. Yeah, it's pretty good. So I like the way you spread out your power mostly. If we take a look at your home, yeah, you've got the power associated. I would really love to see V3 plus on both the On Kirimaro and on the Aspen copy, but again, that's not horrible. The levels of your homes, yeah, it looks like you're taking them up until you need your master toolboxes, which is perfectly right. And yeah, all the master toolboxes still getting funneled to the main. That looks perfect. So this is really good because honestly, when you have this hero in the lineup, he has a core liberation, or she has a core liberation level 2 right now. Technically, when she's in combat, it's 3, because for every 3-star noble core you have in your lineup, it gives a +1 to the hero. You can see it right here when we jump in. Someone was asking me this the other day. When you take a look at our hero list, if you do this here and you come up here and you tap this, you see right down the middle here, it says level 2 +1. And you'll notice you have the 50% chance that the noble core will have, which is kind of cool. So really awesome. That's perfect. I imagine you're going to go for a noble core on her with whatever chest you have, and then get her to Destiny Transition in the future. In reality, you don't need to bring her up. What I would do on an account like this is probably just try to unlock Destiny Transition on a few different heroes. That will be good. You need to take a look at the power. So the biggest difficulty with the Void Invasion bosses is not having a giant killer copy. But again, this is VIP 6, but I imagine you're mostly free to play besides like a monthly card or something like that. So getting the Starry Gems to get a giant killer, probably out of reach. Your best bet is continuing to save your contract Starry Gems. Save up for not this week's gala, but next session that pops up, which might be next month. Fingers crossed, the middle of next month we have a session. Maybe at Easter we have a Soul Awakening session, because that's in 4 weeks, and it might be a Wishing Point event again. I don't know. We'll have to see how it turns out, but that is going to be your best bet, and try to get a B+ stone and try to high roll. You might have actually done it with this one. Was this actually a B+ stone that you used? If you did, that's awesome, because you actually high rolled a really good attack roll on it. About 10 million attack. This is pretty solid. And yeah, Rui Scepter can be really, really good. However, running a melodic strings is going to be the better strategy if we're talking about the Void Invasion boss. I don't know if you have a melodic strings yet, but you need to either run a melodic strings or an antlers cane for the first boss. The first boss, as you guys know, if you don't win by round 6, you're going to be in some major issues. You've got one boss down. We could try it and see what happens. The problem is with this type of account, you have a lot of your power on the Theranos of Blood Betty, but you don't even want to use Betty on this one. Oh, you do have a melodic strings? Ah, okay, so you do. Well, the issue is going to be one of two things. You're going to use your Antlers Cane if you can beat the boss in around 5 or 6 rounds, but then you can't beat all the minions. You're going to use a Melodic Strings if you can't kill the boss before the end of round 6, essentially. That's going to be the strategy you want to go for. Let me see where the rest of your Stellar Shards are kind of assigned. Yeah, no, that's fine. I can see why you haven't put more power on your Aspen Tenant and you're on Kirimaro Tenant, because you're still investing it in your main heroes, which is important, and you're still waiting to finish out all the tenant spots because you're waiting on more master toolboxes. So as far as what you're deciding to do, this is good. Again, going for a Noble Court, that's going to help you get further progression in Void Campaign. And did you have an Illusive Mirror? Getting an Illusive Mirror, oh geez, of course it's going to do an update right in the middle of this, right? Good old event updates are here. It looks like iOS is actually live and it's only 8:12, so that's pretty quick for there. Did you have any other questions besides that? Yeah, if you don't have a mirror, investing in a mirror is going to be one of the best things for her, because number one, you want her to have 100 energy at the beginning of the Void Campaign battles, and you want the Holmes Young to hit her first. That way you have a chance to CC the entire enemy wave. Now, granted, there are 2 Sherlocks, so some of that is going to get reflected back, but locking down as many of the enemy heroes as possible is very important for doing that. He has an Elena. The second boss shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, that's the one thing I was going to say too, is the second boss is usually more crowd control oriented. So running like her Noble Core can get you some advantages here. But if we're talking Void Campaign, this is the tricky one. It's almost easier when there's 4 Holmes Young, because you're not worried about reflecting the CC. It's just waiting for the attack to hit Betty and then for it to go all in on that. So that's a really good thing too. But because there's Sherlocks, it does add a little bit trickery into that. So yeah, work on getting a mirror. I don't know if you had any chests currently sitting in here. I think you probably have one. Yeah, technically it has Auspicious Lucky Cat. Yeah, it looks like you only got one chest right now that has it. You can buy one here, so you can almost get a Splendid. Reality. I wish you could look at 2 stars and stuff like that. Really, any upgraded mirror will work, even if it's glittery. So right now you could get a glittery mirror for her, and that would be a pretty good upgrade, and that will help out a lot. So give those strategies a try. Go for a melodic strings and go very offensive on your Lord of Fear Aspen against the Void Invasion boss chapter 1. For chapter 2, probably use the same thing, except have a tanky team around you. Try to use the mirror on Betty, and chapter 2 might go very smoothly. With Betty with a mirror 2, you might actually clear the regular chapter 3, which then unlocks chapter 3 boss. That one might be a little too difficult for this account, but it might not be bad.